Hi, it's Paris from EpicReviewGuys, and it's time for spring gardening. The only problem is every year the squirrels come right behind us and eat everything. So this year we did not plant a garden out in the yard. However, there's a company called GreenStalk that sent us their gardening system. Looks really interesting. We're gonna set it up, give it a try.
EpicReviewGuys.
They call this a tiered gardening system. I'm hoping it's not this kind of tier. This is 5 tiers. It's actually 5 levels. You stack up in a particular way. You water at one point. That water gets distributed to all of these different little sections where you put in your soil and your plants. Supposedly very efficient for water. Important here in Austin. We're in drought restrictions right now. And this takes up about 2 square feet of space on your ground, on your porch, wherever you want to put it. But it lets you plant 90 plants.
Here's the 8-foot by 12-foot by about 1-foot deep patch that I had several cubic yards of topsoil brought in so we could set up a garden, and we have tried it year after year with painfully poor results. This is going to be the site of this year's garden right here on the porch with the controlled watering, and I'm hoping up here on the porch next to where the dog hangs out during the day, a whole lot less problems with the squirrels. This is not an inexpensive as seen on TV hanging garden kind of thing. This particular set right here, the 5-tier and in this color, goes for $149. I'll put a link to it down below this video, but it can be used year after year, and if it works well and actually gets us some vegetables, maybe some strawberries, some nice flowers, certainly be worth it. And opposed to the 4 cubic yards of topsoil I had brought in for our other garden, this one requires 4 cubic feet.
Here in the package, we have what's included and the different ways that you can stack them up, along with instructions on the 2 different methods. Sort of depends on whether you want to lift these when they're full of soil. I'm sure they can get pretty heavy. This, I believe, is the water reservoir that is going to feed the water out to the individual planters. There are 4 of these watering discs. These are what do the distribution into each planter. Even without the soil, they're not lightweight. Here are the planters, all with the same shape and design. And there are 5 of them. I'm going to read through the instructions, stack this up while they're still empty in the way I think they're trying to tell me, and see what this will look like.
Okay, I thought this would be intuitive, like real easy to figure out how to do it, but it took a little looking at the picture and figuring what they had in mind. Now the recommended method, as near as I can tell, just means to stack them all next to each other. Put the watering discs up on top and then that main watering reservoir over one, and it's not that different than having a bunch of pots next to each other filled with soil. The interesting one is the alternative method where it's stacked up. Now I was expecting more like a pyramid stacking, but this is straight, one on top of another, like this. If you look at the bottom, now you can see this shape here. This groove in this part is what will snugly hold on to this spot right here. So you have to line it up, and then there's room for this to be in the middle. So you're basically, your soil and plant take advantage of zone is going to be this portion right here. Way down here underneath you still have soil, so of course the roots can grow into that. You don't need to have the sunlight down there. So with the main reservoir, you fill this up with water. It has some small holes in it to water this particular container. The rest of the water will go down here into one of these watering dishes in the one below, which has holes in it to water that one. The rest of the water will go down into the next one, and you can see how that works. So this is, to the best of my Lincoln log and Lego building ability, what it's supposed to look like. Main reservoir here. Again, the water will go through. Some of the water will go into this section, and I did notice at the bottom of each of these planters there are holes for the water that makes it all the way through the soil. Into the next, and the next, and the next, and the next. Is this going to grow me as many plants as you can see over there in the corner where I used to have that big garden laid out? Well, if the squirrels don't eat it, there will certainly be more, even if there are only 1 or 2. Each of what they call tiers has 6 pockets, you can see on the outside edge there, and I'm guessing if you put 3 plants in each, that's how they're doing their math, because we've got 6 pockets and we've got 5 layers, so that's 30 pockets, 3 plants per pocket, you get 90 plants.
So I need to head out shopping. I need to buy my 4 cubic feet of soil, maybe some fertilizer, a whole bunch of plants, and then I'll come back. I'll show you the process involved in getting this set up, especially getting this last planter lifted up onto the top. I'll put a link to it down below this video. I'll be back in a few days. We'll see what's growing with the GreenStalk gardening system.
Shopping is easy when you know what to buy. walks by, nobody knows, but before he goes shopping, he watches our videos.